Hello and welcome to another High Crimes and Misdemeanours. I'm here outside Mulgai Station, just to the north of Glasgow, and this time I'm going to be walking a slow way. So Slow Ways was launched last month, and the idea is that there'll be a whole network across the whole of Great Britain of routes for walkers and wheelers, linking every town and village, or certainly towns, and they will be up there on the web for people to use and link everything up like that. And the idea is to get the best route and have each route checked. So the stage we're at the moment is that volunteers like me are going out and walking these routes and reporting back, surveying them, seeing if there's any problems, generally feeding back on what they're like and suggesting better routes. So today I'm going 8 miles from Mulgai to Kirkintilloch. Let's go. So if you go to slowways.org and put in your nearest town or other settlement, then you will see all of the slow ways in your area. So let's go in and have a look. So you'll see that they're shown, first of all, as straight lines. They're not actually straight, but Mulgai here is connected to 7 nearby towns and villages. In this video we'll be testing out the slow way from Mulgai to Kirkintilloch, to the east here. And main reason I've picked this route is that it's not been reviewed yet or tested yet, and it's a 3-hour walk with a bus going the other way, so it fits nicely into an afternoon. So here we've got a plan of where the route goes. So it starts off along country roads, then crosses a couple of golf courses through Torrance, and there's a little section along the river Kelvin as well, and then into Kirkintilloch. So at this stage, this has been put together by a volunteer looking at a map. It's quite possible that they don't know the area at all, and that's why we need people like myself and hopefully yourself to go and check it out and see how usable it is. There are a list of methodologies that are used in deciding what a good slow way is. So as far as reasonable, the route should firstly be safe. It should respect local codes and laws. So in Scotland, that's the access code. In England and Wales, you'll be using rights of way or permissive paths. Number 3, it should be accessible to as many people as possible. Number 4, it should be direct. Number 5, it should be off-road as reasonable as possible. Number 6, it should have resting places to eat or sleep every 5 or 10 kilometres. This is quite interesting because this one is 14 kilometres. So I guess that Torrance has a couple of shops, so that would be your place to eat along the route. Number 7, it should pass through train and bus stations, which I'm taking good use of by getting the bus home. Number 8, it should be easy to navigate. Number 9, it should be enjoyable and beautiful. And finally, it should use established routes, but not be distracted by them. So around here, obviously, you can make good use of things like the West Highland Way, but you wouldn't use the West Highland Way for the sake of it. One of the things that
I will be doing today is surveying. So I took a half an hour long training course yesterday, which tells me the sorts of things I need to be looking out for, and the first one of these is that this is a bit of a hill. So one of the things, one of the pieces of information we're looking for is details of what the steepest hill is in each direction. Knowing the route a little bit, I suspect this might be it in this direction. So I've just used an app on my phone to work out that this hill is 21%, which is pretty steep. So the other things I'll be looking out for, things like narrow paths, dangers from traffic. I'll be looking for whether there are gates and stiles, all of that sort of thing. So we're now onto a nice bit of country road here. It's very, very quiet. Bluebells over there. Loads of bluebells out at the moment. It's pretty spectacular in some places. And the other thing to mention while I'm here is that this lovely woodland on either side, there's currently a proposal in the works to turn this into a holiday lodge park. Now, if you can imagine putting loads of lodges in this woodland, just how much you would lose. It would be wrecked, basically. And you know, you hear all of these, you can hear all this bird song. It's really wonderful, and something we need to be keeping. Quite a few golf courses along the way today. This one is Duggleston Golf Course. So here we've got our first real possible access issue. There's a ford across the road, which is lovely, and to one side there is a path to avoid getting your feet wet. However, if we look at the access to the path, I don't think I'd want to get a wheelchair over that. So yeah, that's absolutely worth noting. Still on quiet roads through the tiny little village of Baldurnock. Yeah, so noting that this road, which we're only on for a few hundred metres, is a bit busier than the others, and there's not really any verge to speak of to walk along, so it's a little bit more hazardous than the others, but I don't think there's a better route. This is after 2.5 miles. This is where we start to leave the road. So yeah, it's been a fairly long section along the road, but there really isn't a better way, and to be honest, it's quite pleasant. Golf course number 2, Balmore. Yeah, there are a couple of bits along here where you do need to watch out for flying golf balls. It's fairly open in those places, so the golfers should be able to see you, but I think it's something that I will mark down as a potential hazard. Leaving the golf course behind now, I did interrupt a few people's games, I think, by walking through the golf course, which of course I have full right to do so. But yeah, I was just thinking that if golf is a good walk spoiled, then was that a good walk spoiled by a good walk spoiled? Do rangers patrol this area? Of course rangers patrol this area. So I'm in the village of Balmore here, which has a busy road running through it. and I need to be careful here. But yeah, good thing is that the slowway goes straight across the main road and there is a crossing, so I'm just going to cross here when the traffic's finished. There we go. And we can keep going along this road the other way. So this is a cycle path which eventually takes you into Bishopbriggs. It first crosses the River Kelvin and then it crosses the Forth and Clyde Canal. So the route as it's written takes us as far as the River Kelvin, and then we turn left and follow the river for a short distance and then go back to the main road. What I think would be better would be for us to continue further along to the canal and then simply turn left along the canal, which takes you all the way into Kirkintilloch. That seems a much better route to me, and I am going to suggest that as an alternative, but we'll have a look at this route and see if it has any particular advantages. Here's the junction I was talking about. So I've just come from Belmore. Torrance I will be going to. My preferred route, if I was doing this on my own, would be to go straight down to the Forth and Clyde Canal and follow that along. Yeah, so you can see both of them are similar sort of breadth paths, and however I'm going to have a quick sit down on this seat and have a look at the river for a while. Golf course number 3, Corder. So we're just crossing the river on the main road and then we're straight off the main road again into the village of Torrance, which is probably the main reason why they decided to take the route this way, is that there's a co-op and a pub and stuff in there, so that is one of the positives. Slow ways we do try and take them through settlements where possible, so you get all of those services that you need. Passing through Torrance, I encountered an upside down cat. What's that all about? So we're just coming out of Torrance now. Bit of a long housing estate to walk through, but easy enough. So basically this path now takes us to the edge of golf course number 4, which we will walk around the edge of, and that will take us basically onto the road into Kirkintilloch. So yeah, only 1.5, 2 miles left here. So this is the first gate here. We've had a couple of kind of narrow passageways, but this is the first actual gate. So this is something that I'll certainly mark down. It is quite an easy one to get through, although the gap there is probably about 80-90 centimetres, and then the gap between these two boulders is a little less than that. So yeah, signpost Kirkintilloch, we're going the right way, great. Back alongside the River Kelvin here, you can see Kirkintilloch in the distance over there. So yeah, there's about another 15 minutes to go. So we'll have walked 8 and a bit miles in 3 hours, including a few stops to survey various bits and pieces. It's been a nice walk. It's not the best walk in the area, but as a slow way, I think it really does the job. And yeah, there may be a few minor tweaks, but it's basically one that I can recommend to other walkers. and I've made it to Kirkintilloch. So, been a great walk. The main point that needs to be made is that Slowways is a really good project, but it is a volunteer-based one. So, if you like the sound of it, do get out and volunteer. Check out some of these routes. There are thousands of them. It'll take a long time to check them. Have a look at what hasn't been done near you and get out and walk one. I knew that this wasn't going to be the most exciting one, but it still has been very nice. I think most of them you'll find will be like that.